G'day. Well, Tasmania's all done and dusted, and this is the final video in Tasmania. And so in this video I've gone to Derby, or Derby, not sure which is the right pronunciation. All about mountain biking. Unbelievable, big time there. And went to Launceston at Cataract Gorge, that was pretty amazing. Went up to Ben Lomond and up to Jacob's Ladder. That was a video all by itself and a bit of a drama, but anywho. And just a couple of things interspersed between all that. And also there was the trees that they carved out, the guys going to war. That's pretty amazing as well. Anywho, let's go. Good morning, top of the morning to you. Now I've just left St Helens, magnificent place, St Helens and Bay of Fires, and I'm headed up towards a place called Derby. And one particular place I'm really looking forward to is they've got trees there, and they've got someone to carve these little shapes, and well, I won't hold back. I'll let you check it out when we get there. This is so embarrassment. I came out here the other day, even paid for a meal. Wasn't that overly hungry, but I thought I'd do the right thing and just got the whole flavour of everything. And I'm assuming a road out here. Gee, I'm looking for pub in the paddock, and I'm assuming, well, it can probably only be one. So I pulled up, and it turns out I end up staying and doing all my wining and dining at the cheese factory. Seriously? But lucky for all of us, I'm going up towards Derby, and I want to go and see these magnificent waterfalls, and just called in and said, oh look, I missed the there's a special animal there doing some crazy things at the pub in the paddock. Oh, she said, oh, pub in the paddock's just up the road. Ding dong. Right, I'll go and check out the pub in the paddock. There's the sign, pub in the paddock, 250 metres. What was I thinking?
He'll let the water just pour out the side of his mouth. I love proper beer. That's another thing we'll get kicked out for. Not having it. If it wasn't $15, I'd probably share. And they got shut down. They got shut down for making beer. Yeah.
Oh, here he is.
Good morning, top of the morning to you. So I'm here at the crack of dawn. It's actually a bit of a sleep in. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm about to go mountain bike riding in Derby. Now this is apparently the capital of Australia, almost the capital of the world allegedly. So it's supposed to be a really, really good trip, and looking forward to it. And hopefully I'll come back in mostly one piece. So we'll see how we go, but quite looking forward to it, and I'll try and film as much as I can on the trip.
I reckon we cut around the corner and check out the tunnel.
Yep.
And do the track that I know that definitely comes back from there.
Let's do that.
And then we'll see, do you want to do more, you want to do less?
Yeah.
We're done.
Go to the doctors after that, or?
Go to the what doctors?
No. Okay, here we are. We've just done a little warm up, and I think I might head back to the camp. No, not really. It was great fun. Look at that. Back brakes work, that's always a plus. And we'll take on another track, just see how we go. Hey there, I'm at Derby. Now I was just driving through, and this is ignorance, arrogance, I don't know. It's just not knowing, so I hadn't done enough research on this part of town. Passing through Derby, and I saw all these mountain bikes for hire, and I thought, whew, it's a lot of shops just for, to muck around. Turns out Derby is one of Tasmania's, and apparently one of Australia's, absolute paramount places to go for mountain biking. They've got all sorts of tracks all over the place, and they've got two types. You can either just go into a shop and hire a bike, go and do your own thing for a day or two, or you can book ahead and you can do a whole package, and they'll take you on various routes. You just say whether you're beginner, intermediate or advanced, and they'll put you in that package. They'll organise the bike, they'll set it up just for you, and then the following morning when you head off, you'll jump in the van, in a little minibus, and they will have all the bikes behind it, ready to go. Off you go, they'll take you to the track, you'll do your thing, and then the bikes go back on the back of the bus. You jump in the bus and go home and have a big, well, if you're really organised, you'll go home and then you'll jump into the sauna here, but the sauna is pretty heavily booked. So the sauna, it's called a floating sauna on the lake, and it's been here for a few years, I believe, and they were really lucky when they got it through. 3 weeks and it passed through council. Not too many councils that get that things done that quickly. Anywho, it's really sounds like quite good. It's a wood fire sauna. The white building is the change room. The darker building is the actual sauna, and what happens is you can book the entire sauna. It's got 5 spots. You can just say, myself and partner, we want the whole lot. You pay a certain figure, or otherwise it's got 5 spots, so I could book one and a couple could book it, another couple could book it, and we're all in together doing our thing. And you've got that 1 hour, so you can be in your sauna, hot, splash. climb back into the sauna, hot, 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 splash. You can do that as often as you want for the hour. So here I am at Ledgerwood now, which is just out of Derby. Basically what happened was in 1918, these series of trees, well, they don't look like trees anymore, but they were planted just at the end of the First World War in commemoration of the lives lost from this little town. Then from there, in 1945, the trees had become quite substantial and were still in the remembrance kind of section of the road. And then later on in that year, November 1945, what they did was they chopped the tops off and they commissioned a guy called Eddie Freeman. And Eddie Freeman, with his chainsaw, came and did all these carvings. Now they're basically little tributes for different people who left to go on to the First World War and sadly died. They're from privates to, they're all sorts of different ranks. And then further down here we can see some of the women, you know, sort of bidding farewell to the children. Well, they're not children, like probably 17-year-old, I think is the youngest who died. And the guys, the military guys. And not that it's overly relevant, but in a few years back they had to also, all the women's dresses unfortunately had rotted, so they commissioned another guy to just tidy it up so the women are slightly newer than the original, but all of the guys there, they're all the originals. And if you came here, it would be great if you could just pop in a little donation, because and they want to keep this going. There's not a profit to be made, but the special paint they have to put onto the trees costs $2,000 a year. It's a special protection so that the carvings won't rot. So if you feel that way inclined, that would be great. It was 2006 when those two guys come out of got rescued from this particular mine. They come out of this shaft. There was a few other people with them, obviously. The shaft is pretty small. Come out of that, come over here, hung their keys up on that somehow, and then clocked themselves off. That means they were no longer on the payroll for that day. It was a long day. A lot of this museum is quite interactive, so if you press buttons and fiddle around with things actually start to happen. I'm just going to press this button, you'll see the water wheel go around, which is awesome to watch. But the other thing is the stamp battery will start. I don't think it'll shake the camera, but back in the day it would have shaken parts of the town, because what they're doing is they're crushing the rock to get the ore out. So here we go. You can hear the water running, so the water parts are happening. I think it probably fills up like like those little kids things when they fill up the saucer when they get so full and then tips over. So this thing's probably got to fill up, and once it's spinning, it'll probably start up the stamp battery. Here we go. Water wheels. Yeah. So it's spinning, giving the power to the stamp battery, which is crushing the ore. Well, this is probably one of the best examples of a miner's hut I've seen. It's well set up. It's pretty much the way it would have been on the day. Obviously the beer bottle would have been full and so on and so forth. Not sure if you can see it, but I'll show you in a minute if you can't see it. The rabbit traps, very common in those days, because without that they wouldn't be eating. And then I'll show you the water pump. I've actually never seen a water pump working. So let's go and check this out. As I was saying, this water pump really does work. It does say to be gentle with it, so, excuse me. I'm sure it works. Here it comes. See the water coming down? Amazing. Back in the day, before mobile phones, they had all these switches, and this was an exchange. So the woman would have a little headpiece on here, and this would be kind of bolted to her like that. And she would be, just a moment, I'll connect you. So she'd pull out a wire and flick it, and flick a switch up and flick a switch down, and then pull out some more cables, and then sometimes listen in. And that's how local towns would pass their gossip. The woman at the telephone exchange would say, "Oh, did you hear that Leslie was up to such and such?" Oh dear. But anyway, this is where it all started, way before walking around with their own mobile phones. Well, here I am at the top of the switchback, razorback. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's switchback maybe. And it's just in the very top of Ben Lomond. My heart's still racing, having run out of fuel and starting to stall on a steep slope, but managed to get out of it. We won't go on about it, but whew! And the other thing is just driving up the road. She's a fair, it gets the adrenaline running, because you're going, there's a drop off from the side of the road, and there's very few. There's like literally a handful of safety rails, so got to keep your mind on the job. Stunning view, as you can see. Beautiful rocks. I end up going to the wrong place, so make certain that you've got it exactly the place you want to go, not just Ben Lomond, because you might end up at Ben Lomond Village, which I did. Couldn't afford to waste that fuel, but I did. And yes, I'll let you enjoy the rest of this expansive view. It really is outstanding. Good morning, top of the morning to you. I'm on a little chairlift just out of Launceston, and it's called Cataract Gorge. Very pleasant way to start the day, and I've done the lazy way, so I'm taking the chairlift there and the chairlift back. But you could walk one way and get it back, or get it there and walk back. Not this early in the morning. Very, very pleasant though. Here's a bit of interesting news, kind of good news, bad news. Good news, they're building 2 brand new ferries, which is excellent. They're not adding it to the fleet, they're just replacing the fleet. So the 2 ferries they've got at the moment, they will sell on and they'll have brand new ferries. So they won't increase the number of sailings and it won't decrease the price. All it'll do is just means you've got nice, shiny new ferries. The other thing is inside the cabins where you've got the recliners, they do have 240 volt, which is good news, but you've got to share that with 2 other people. So if you're in 3 recliners, you've got one 240 volt, and you better hope that you get on pretty well with the other people so you can share that 240 volt. There is no USB, there's no cigarette lighter, so you better hope you've got some other form of keeping your mobile phone charged, and there's very little internet reception from the whole trip. There is a little bit at the beginning, a little bit at the end, but if you wanted to buy a little package from the ferry, then you can actually have the internet and you can get on with it. So much to know. Well, here I am, I'm just about to head off. All the big trucks are starting up, about to hit my caravan and get out of here. Better not hang around. Well, there you have it. Tasmania, as I said earlier in the video, all done and dusted. If you found the video helpful, useful and or entertaining, please give it a thumbs up. And if you think the video is worth sharing, that too would be great. Until next time, this is Paul Drive, signing off.